Welcome to another Sunday evening on the OHIO podcast. Do me a big favor, everybody. Go ahead and smash that like button this evening. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Well over 200 new subscriptions this past week. Great week. Thank you so much, everybody. If this is your first time jumping in, welcome. We're glad you're here. Go ahead and make yourself right at home there in the comment section. We only have one rule, and that is this. Just be respectful for each other. No personal attacks with anybody. We can have great debate. We can agree. We can disagree. We can do all those things tonight in the chat. We appreciate all of you doing that. By the way, if you want to listen to us and take us wherever you go on your podcast, you can do that. We are available wherever you download your podcasts, and we appreciate each and every single one of you who listen to the show on your podcast device. If you don't mind, give us a 5-star review. Help us reach other great people just like yourself who root for Ohio State, and they too can enjoy the sounds of a couple crazy Ohio State fans screaming in their earbuds just like you. With us tonight on tonight's panel, above me, that is the Schrock Star himself. Welcome, Sean. How you doing this evening?
Great. How's everybody else doing?
We are great. Corey, welcome back. Good Sunday evening to you, my friend.
Yeah, so you lifted the restraining order so I can come back?
Yeah, well, I was about to mention you are about to really feel Ohio this week. I mean, really.
I know. I saw it
feel
coming. Yep.
Yeah, get ready. You might want to get that facial hair a little bit longer because
this is all I can do. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh no. And the Wild Man, how was the last day at the Ohio State store in Lotsmore, Chris?
Well, it wasn't too bad today, Eric. I mean, it was a nice slow day. Got some packing up done, and got a visit from our buddy Bart. He came in and hanged out for about a half hour, and
did he try to take the store over and just say, "I'm going to run this store like he did my studio"?
No, he's got more respect for me than he does your studio.
Go figure.
We're
thankful to have all of you with us this evening, guys. We're going to dive right into the big news. There might be a chance. The Columbus Dispatch has, in their digging to try to find out basically what Ohio State will be saving when it comes to everybody's contracts as coaches for the long run. They uncovered a few things that we're going to share with all of you tonight. This is Ohio State's 2025 coaching salary. Now, what you will notice, and I see Sean trying to see that. Let me make this bigger for everybody tonight. Let's see if we can't just go full screen here. How about that?
That is pretty blurry. Yep.
Yeah, here we go. This might be better. How about that?
All right.
A little bit better.
Unfortunately, they can't see our faces. Or fortunately, I
guess.
Yes,
Brian Hartline is back. Sweet.
So,
you got fired already.
The first rumor of the evening has already started. If you'll notice Brian Hartline, Corey, there's a little asterisk there to his name, very similar to the 2024 National Championship in Ann Arbor. There's an asterisk there. Hartline is now USF's head coach and is set to make $3.5 million annually. He made $2 million this past year. His contract was through 2028. Now, what's interesting about this is Matt Patricia reportedly had a 2-year extension put on his contract. We don't have the exact number that it went up. I'm sure that Brian Hartline's number there, $2 million, went into a little bit, taking from that to add to Matt Patricia. I'm guessing he's probably going to be somewhere around $3 million.
Eric, I just to throw it out there, I did hear a rumor of a number of 3 years,
3.5.
Yes.
Okay, 3 years, 3.5. I did, yeah, it's going to be somewhere between 3 and 3.5. I think you're right. You have Larry Johnson at 1.4, Tim Walton at 1.8, Tyler Bowen at 9, Matt Grudieri at 9, Keenan Bailey at 650, Carlos Lachlan at 650, James Laurinaitis at 500, Billy Fessler at 475. And then, of course, if we're looking at the newest wide receiver coach, I'm going to say he's probably somewhere between 650 and 900. I can't imagine he was over $1 million. Do you guys think so?
Yeah, $1 million. No way.
I think it was 900,000 with $1 million going to be next season. Moving up to $1 million next season.
All right. So that's what we're looking at. That being said, boys. What can we glean from this? Because obviously the discussion right now with everybody has to do with A, keeping Matt Patricia at DC, and B, what are we going to do about OC? Chris, I know you have some thoughts about this. So let's go counterclockwise. I'll let you go first tonight. What can we glean from this information? And what are you hearing right now as we have finally gotten to the end of the transfer portal being open for people to enter? You can still get guys who are in it to come back or come out of it. There'll still be some names announced, but it sounds like that was the main focus of this coaching staff. Maybe Ryan Day will be focusing more on what he's going to do with the coaching staff.
Yeah, and obviously, we have a coaching staff. This budget rivals any NFL team's coaching staff. It really does. Or getting close to it at least.
As far as the number?
Yeah, as far as the numbers go. But I'll tell you, I think that they did the most important thing, which was lock down Matt Patricia. I don't think Matt Patricia wants to go anywhere right now. I think he's enjoying the college game. I think he enjoys working with the kids. I would not be surprised if he does not work out all 3 years of that extension as an assistant at Ohio State. So that is good news if you're a Buckeye fan. I think that's going to be good news if you're a defensive recruit. There's going to be stability. Offensively, it concerns me. Because as you guys have touched on, we have filled up our offensive slot, our 10 assistant slots that we can have as full-time assistants. And to me, I think that means one of two things. We've talked about it before, Eric, and that is possibly Ryan Day taking the play calling duties back. Or, and you mentioned it the other day on a video you talked about, a lot of people have been rumoring that maybe this holding off is simply him waiting to see if JT Barrett would like to interview for this position.
Okay.
At the end of the season.
Let me ask you a question then. Do you agree that Ryan Day wants a seasoned play caller at OC?
I would think so.
Then
and that
why
is not
would JT
Barrett.
Exactly.
However, if you look at what we've spent budget-wise already on the coaches, if you're going to try to stay in an area that you can afford, I don't know that you can go out and get a seasoned play caller and not just completely blow this up by spending another $2.5 million. Not only that, but which coach are you letting go of? In a JT Barrett, I still think you get Ryan Day for the most part overseeing the play calling, which I don't like, at least for that first couple years. But you do get yourself somebody who could step in and be an OC/quarterbacks coach, which puts Billy Fessler's job in question. What are they going to do with him? Are they going to move him back to an analyst? Are they going to cut him loose? Does he have something in the works that we don't know about? I think right now we're more questions than answers as far as the offensive side of the ball still, Eric. That does not bode well if you were an offensive recruit. So I'm torn here. I think we did a great thing in locking down Matt Patricia, but I still feel like we got a lot of uncertainty surrounding the offensive side of the ball.
Okay. Yeah, and I saw the comment in the chat about Matt Patricia to the Chargers. If you Google that, it's from 2017. I don't believe Matt Patricia would go coach for Jim
Jesse
Harbaugh.
Minter hasn't even left the Chargers yet, so I mean,
yeah, I don't think that.
Besides, Sharon Moore's going to the Chargers.
Yeah.
or he's going to get charged, is what you're saying. Okay, never mind.
Honestly,
yeah.
they interviewed him. I can't believe it's.
I don't think that's possible because he can't leave the state of Michigan. That being said, Corey,
Mm-hmm.
what are you getting from this? Is there any nuggets? And of course, what are your thoughts about OC? Because there was a Yahoo Sports article written um, yesterday that they carried from Brett Ludwigzak.
Good
Tough for
luck
me
with
to
that
say.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, from SB Nation, who laid out 5 candidates for OC for Ohio State. Brian DeBall was the top one on his list. JT Barrett, Cliff Kingsbury, which I just don't see that one happening.
That's intriguing, though.
I would take him.
Garrett Riley, who just got fired by Clemson, and then Keenan Bailey as basically the 5 guys he is hearing who could be OC at Ohio State. I'll just be honest with you.
I'd prefer you lie to me. But go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't know that I like any of them,
No.
just to be completely honest with you. I think Cliff Kingsbury might be but that's a 1-year thing, man. He's not going to stay in college. He doesn't want to be in college. He's let that be known. He doesn't want to recruit. A lot of names there. Corey, make some sense of this for me.
Good luck with that.
That was on purpose, buddy.
First of all, I'm going to say, I might need to turn the chat off for I'm about to start slapping people because some of the comments are driving me nuts. But that being said, it's not going to be JT Barrett. I'm pretty confident on that one. I could see him being a future QB coach, but he's not going to be given the OC by any stretch of imagination. He is not ready for that, and I don't think Brian Day wants to hand over. Play calling is so sacred to him. I don't think he wants to hand it over to anybody who just hasn't had any work. I disagree. I like Brian DeBall. I think that's a good one. I think he was really good with Buffalo, but I honestly think Josh Allen's actually become a little worse since he left. But he's more turnover prone anyway. That being said, I'm not going to say like, oh, I'm on the DeBall train and it has to be him or nobody, obviously, but I would be okay with it. Cliff would be an awesome pickup. I think he'd be a great pickup, but you're right. He'll be here a year max, and I think Ryan Day's being very careful about this because he doesn't want to, he's changed twice now. I mean, this is a third offense coordinator in 3 years now. And I don't think it's going to be something where the conventional wisdom in the past would be Cortez Hankton and Keenan Bailey share duties, or Cortez Hankton and Tyler Bowen share duties, or something along those lines. I don't think he's going to go that route because I'll tell you, 7-8 years ago, I'd have said, well, this is the obvious thing that's going to happen. But Ryan Day is unpredictable in the offseason. As predictable as his game plan can be sometimes, he's unpredictable in the offseason. I think he has shown that, especially since the 2023 offseason, where he had a monster offseason to put this team in a position to win a title. But even in the past, when he's just completely overhauled the defensive staff a couple times, and even in special teams, he's tried to overhaul how we do special teams a few times. I mean, it's just he's always trying to grow and adapt. It doesn't always work. But so I think he's waiting on a big name, and I think actually the big name is going to actually end up surprising us who it's going to be. And I was talking to Kyle Lamb about it, and I think he could be wrong. I understand the offensive assistant positions are all filled up, but I think as long as the guy is not a recruiter, you're allowed to have another one. But you
can have as many coaches as you want.
But
your 10 assistants are the ones who can go on the road with you.
Yeah, yes. Exactly. So he might get an offensive coordinator who calls the plays, who does not recruit. So that's
the problem I have with that, Corey, is how can you justify to a recruit that the guy whose hands your career is in, who's calling the plays, isn't even going to come visit you in your home?
I think
I would have a problem with that as a parent.
I wouldn't, because now it's about money. So it's
show me the money.
It's like, you know what? Ronald McDonald can call the plays. Just show me the Benjamins. It's like I agree with you, Eric. 10 years ago, that I would be like, wait, I need to meet the guy who's going to basically be coordinating this offense and going to be talking about how he's going to be. Now it's like he's calling the plays. You're paying me $1 million. I don't really care. So I think actually more than anything, I think Ryan Day's the selling point on the offense, no matter who the offensive coordinator is. But and I don't know who's going to be now. Hartline used to be that ace recruiter on the offense. I don't know who that's going to be now. Maybe Ryan Day takes that spot. I don't know. But I definitely think he's biding his time to wait for a seasoned play caller that he's going to trust to do the job. I don't think he wants to go back to play calling, but I think he is getting tired of having guys leave. And I think that's also plays into the fact that he's making sure he's locking Patricia up, paying him more than we paid any assistant ever in Ohio State history. And he had to. He can't do this. You can't keep churning them out. You can't keep replacing people. So I definitely think it's going to end up being somebody we're all kind of surprised by, but I think ultimately it's going to obviously divide Buckeye Nation like every coach does. So,
Sean.
I think there's one name that we're kind of overlooking right now on the coaching staff right now is Tyler Bowen as an offensive coordinator, has experience calling plays. I don't want him to, but I would hate for that to happen. I do not want to have Keenan Bailey or another guy get promoted up to coordinator. I hate that idea more than I hate Brian Dable's idea, the idea of Brian Dable. But I do think what a lot of us are saying is that we're waiting for somebody from the pros. I would like Cliff Kingsbury. I love his offense. It would definitely make it more explosive than what we were this year. But I'd rather have Todd Monken, but let's get an experienced guy to do it. No promoting within.
All right. These are what the things we know. Corey, was it you that said the offensive play calling is sacred to Ryan Day? Is that the words you used?
yeah, it is. It's his baby.
I couldn't agree more. If you're looking at this list financially speaking, and we're already taking $1 million that Brian Hartline was going to get paid, and we're literally going to be giving that to Matt Patricia to keep him here, which is what everybody's talking about, a raise and an extension. Okay? So seems to be, when you look at this list and it says through 2028, that has absolutely happened, and it's there for him. He has taken phone calls. We know that to be a fact. He's listened to people with their offers, and he's not gone anywhere yet. I think that is a great sign for Ryan Day and Ohio State with this coaching staff. Offensive play calling. Here's what I've been told. Ryan Day will not, I repeat, will not put anybody up in that box to call plays who he doesn't trust.
And I don't think he trusts anybody, Eric. That's a problem.
I don't think he trusted Hartline that much up there either. Honestly.
So even supposedly, even Chip Kelly, and if you're a member of Patreon, you know this information already. Supposedly, he and Chip Kelly, despite their admiration one for each other because of their background, and Chip was his coach, and Chip brought him on as a coach and a quarterback and eventual play caller. Even they, at times, were really butting heads with each other. And I think that is absolutely 100% true, because Chip Kelly was right there for the taking if he wanted him to come back, in crickets. Crickets.
I still maintain he's not happy with Kelly leaving after a year, to be honest with you.
Very well could be as well. Very well could be. That's a good point. I am very, very concerned. We're looking at Keenan Bailey going to the box, boys.
I think that's a very good possibility.
I think he'd have done it already.
I can see him getting a pay bump as, co-offensive coordinator.
He did, Corey. Miami game.
Yeah.
Keenan Bailey was in the box.
No, I think he'd have officially announced it already. What's the point of waiting? Like, literally, what is the point?
If you're holding off, I think he's an option. But I do still think, I'm telling you, I think he's holding off to see what happens with JT Barrett. I'm still going to go back on this. I think that he wants to bring JT Barrett back to Columbus. And I don't. But again,
He coached
that
him for
doesn't
1
solve-
year, didn't he?
Yeah,
2017.
he
Yep.
did, but also JT is not going to leave an NFL gig to come back unless he gets a promotion of some sort.
You know what though? That's what I'm saying. If he gets an OC job, which would be a promotion for him,
It would be. I just don't stop. I'm
but
not saying
here's
I
the thing:
can't.
you give it to him, and you do what you did with Heartline initially. You give it to him in title as a
Mhm.
and bring him along, and you see how it works out. But if in doing that, that means that Ryan Day is calling the plays. He may have somebody in the box advising him, as you mentioned, Eric. But I don't know. I don't think the person in the box is calling the plays. I think ultimately, unless he lands a Dayball or a Kingsbury, Ryan Day, we are not going to avoid it, will be calling the plays next year.
That's a very big possibility. And I do think JT Barrett's profile is growing at a massive rate because
It is.
the best offensive coach in possibly all of football right now, Ben Johnson, loves him some JT. And that's a pretty big endorsement, honestly.
Well,
And-
correct
and-
me if I'm
yeah.
wrong, Corey. Didn't JT work under him in Detroit as well?
Yeah, and look what he did with Jared Goff,
Yeah.
who, was mediocre for the longest time. Now he's almost an elite quarterback. And now Caleb Williams had a massive jump from year 1 to year 2 with JT Barrett as QB coach. JT's profile is growing. I could definitely see why Ryan Day being in that group would want JT back. I just don't think he's going to get hand over play calling. But Chris, I do agree with you. I could see a situation where he brings him in and grooms him to eventually be the play caller, and we get 2 years of Ryan Day calling the plays. So it's possible. I would
Honestly,
prefer that over Keenan Bailey. So,
why would JT want to leave the pros though, man? They got an off season. You wouldn't have to recruit players. I mean, he's climbing the ranks in the pro game. I mean, I think he'd probably want to stay in the pros.
if
I
he gets
mean-
in a promotion, then that's the only way he'd do is he gets a promotion and a pay raise. That's the only way he'd do it.
Is he married? Does anybody know if he's married and have kids? I don't know. I've not looked up anything in his personal life. So
Come
I have
on,
no idea.
Eric. I thought you knew everything about JT Barrett. Come on. This
Dude,
is
don't-
your dude.
You are absolutely cruising for a bruise. You want me to King Buckeye you right now?
Bring it on, baby. I'm feeling good today. I am
Hey,
feeling good.
I know,
while
J-
you're
J-
looking that up, Chris, because you didn't know either. Sean, I want you to respond to this.
He does appear
this
to
is
be,
our
by the way.
insider, Buck Vader, saying, my gut feeling is telling me Day will be calling the plays.
I think the only time that Ryan Day calls the plays this year is if he doesn't find an OC that he trusts.
I agree with Sean on that one. I don't think Day wants to call the plays as much as he loves play calling. I think he understands that the team runs better when he's able to focus on the team as a CEO head coach. But you're right. Who does he trust? I agree with
But-
that, too. He doesn't trust many coaches.
No.
Here's the thing. If you look at this team offensively and look just strictly at the numbers, despite the fact we did have a national championship with Chip Kelly as the OC, since Ryan Day gave up the play calling, would you not agree that the offensive production has dropped
No,
considerably?
I agree with that.
Mhm.
100%.
So
I think,
is this
I
a
think there's
case of
several
Ryan
other
Day
factors
doesn't?
why that happened, though.
And I don't disagree. I mean, obviously the time clock, the way they're doing things now, is different. But at the same time, maybe Ryan Day thinks to himself, "I'm the only chance this offense has right now." Is that in his head?
It might be.
I think the interesting thing also is we look back on the Miami game, and it really wasn't Ryan Day's play calling 100% that was the
That
problem.
was poor
'cause
performance.
It was because Julian was missing some open guys upon further review. It was like Ryan Day can still scheme him some guys open.
Sure.
I mean,
Well, and to Julian's defense, he was worried about getting killed because the offensive line couldn't block anybody.
that's very true. The right side of the line was pitiful, but
Mhm.
Julian's also had a problem of missing people. Jason Candle's now the head coach at UConn, Mika.
Right.
So I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
But
Joe
but Mika,
Moorhead
I
would
do
be.
like
I'd
Joe
lo-
Moorhead.
I would
Moorhead.
love Joe Moorhead. That'd be
Yeah.
a great hire.
Dude was
I-
very creative. I mean,
I would love Joe Moorhead as well. I'm with you guys on that one.
I got to respond to this. Ed, I don't think that Ryan Day necessarily wanted the slowest offense in history. I think that circumstances of having a new quarterback and a brand new play caller in there
Hmm.
led to him having to run that because, as Eric, you and I have talked about this. Hartline may not have been the quickest at getting the plays in and calling the plays. He was a first-year coordinator. no one could expect him to be. And as for Julian, first-year quarterback, you know, I think that was done in an effort to help
Protect.
these guys, not to hurt them.
To protect his first time.
Yeah.
Seeing his first time quarterback.
Absolutely. Problem is you can't then come out and tell everybody that you know when to step on the gas, and then when you go to step on the gas, there's nothing there.
It sputters.
The engine's flooded.
Yeah, exactly.
Mika, I agree. Jason Candle, if he were available, would be an awesome hire. I think he actually tried for Jason Candle a couple years ago. So
Well, when Chip came in, he had pitched it, didn't he? Or
Yeah,
was it when he
pitched
talked
it.
to O'Brien initially?
O'Brien and Candle. I know Candle was in the conversation. I know that much. But Candle at the time was like, I'm not leaving a head coaching job for an OC job, which I still maintain OC at Ohio State's a step up from head coach at Toledo.
100%.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking. He could have easily, not just UConn, he probably could have ended up, much bigger job. So
I'll say this in closing. I'll give you all one final chance to speak your mind. I agree that the most important move on this coaching staff is keeping Matty P here.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Day's an offensive guy. He's not a defensive guy. He needs a head coach of the defense. He has said that himself multiple times. I think Matt Patricia has this year more than proved, he can handle the job, pay the man, keep him here. If that means Ryan Day has to call the plays in order to keep Matt Patricia here, I'll live with it. I will live with that, because to me that is the number one thing. We do not want to go down that path of having to find another DC 2 years removed from Jim Knowles, in my opinion. So that's where I'm at with this. That's my final thought. Chris, your final thought on this before we move on.
I agree with, like I said, I agree with the Patricia analysis there. He was the most important guy to secure this year. I'm glad to see we got him on a 3-year deal. I feel good about that. And I've been one of the biggest opponents of Ryan Day calling plays. I believe at one point I said basically we were writing off the season next year if he did. I've taken a step back and I've really looked at this, and I started diving into the numbers of when Ryan Day was our offensive coordinator, when he was calling plays, even when he was calling plays as a head coach. This offense was just more explosive and more productive. And you're right, Eric. Other things have changed as well that have had an effect on that somewhat. But my God, I think that we have had, this year especially, but even last year at times, an offense that was just more timid. So if it means keeping Matt Patricia here and means getting someone here and here who he is going to train, who is going to provide long-term stability at the offensive coordinator position, then by all means, I'm okay with Ryan Day calling plays for a year, possibly 2. But if it's going to be something where we're going to turn it right back around again, I would rather not see it.
Let me respond to this from John. John, welcome in, by the way. Joe Brady would be too sweet. You ain't kidding, bro.
That's not happening, though. He has no interest in college.
That is not going to happen. Joe Brady has made it perfectly known that he's not coming back to college. He is like, I am perfectly happy being in the NFL, having an off season, and working with professionals and not having to recruit. That comes from his mouth, so he's not coming back.
He has less interest in college than Mike Vrabel.
He would probably coach the Bengals before he would come back to be an OC.
I don't know if anyone wants to coach the Bengals.
Well, they got his quarterback and his wide receiver from when he won a natty at LSU. All right, Corey, your final thought on this topic.
I do agree that the most you had to have Matt Patricia back, and I know I see some comments from Bart and everybody saying, "Let's see how he does without 4 first rounders." Well, that's why Halfley left town. It's because the defense was losing everybody. But I think the defense will take a step back next year, but it'll still be very formidable with Matty Pete dialing it in over an offseason. But it doesn't matter what he did this year, even with the guys we had like Caleb Downs, it's still worth it to keep him just for the sake of continuity alone.
Yes.
You can't keep it can't be a turnstile every year, and then you got to go find the next guy we rehab and put him back. So Matty P was the absolute first necessity. I will say I would rather have Matty P and Ryan Day end up calling plays than hire an offensive coordinator for third one in 3 years and get a below average DC or get somebody new at DC. I would rather have that. As much as I would prefer to have a play caller, I wonder these last 2 years of Chip Kelly being like Ryan Day's, mentor, and he just bolts after the first year for the Raiders of all. I mean, like, I know it's an NFL job. I know the money was sick, but it's like, dude, it's the Raiders. They're a dysfunctional organization. You're gone now. You didn't even last a year there. How do you feel now? Now you're at Northwestern. It's just like you could have been at Ohio State, man, coaching the best of the best in college football and making $3 million a year doing it. You're 60 years old and be happy. Learn to be content to some degree. And I think Ryan Day was kind of hurt by the fact that he just up and left after a year. And then you get Brian Hartline, who I've been grooming. I've been teaching you and mentoring you for years. You're gone after a year to USF. I understand the pay raise. I understand it's a head coaching job, but come on now. It's like now I wonder if Ryan Day is like kind of snake bit a little bit or shell shocked or triggered or whatever you want to say. It's like, man, I just need to keep calling plays. At least we have a consistent play caller because I'll be here. I'm just kind of wondering at this point if he's starting to think that way. We might end up with Ryan Day as a permanent play caller. I'm not advocating for it. Saying I'm just wondering what's in Ryan's in his head right now. I still think he's waiting for the playoff to play out. And he's going to get a big name that's going to kind of surprise us all. But if he doesn't, I could definitely see, Eric, what you're saying. I could see what everybody in the panel tonight saying. He gets somebody in the booth that he trusts to give him a bird's eye view, and he just play calls. And if it's Keenan Bailey in the booth, whoever is in the booth, they're not calling plays. They're just helping Ryan Day see what he needs to see. And then if that helped us keep Matty P, then I guess that's just what we have to, ride into next season with. So, I don't know. I'm okay with it. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but Ryan Day is not a terrible play caller either.
Let me say this before you go, Sean. I'm going to reply to Corey real fast. Back then, we called it when Kevin Wilson was in the booth. Kevin was literally known as Ryan's eyes in the sky. That's what they called him. He trusted Kevin Wilson. They spoke the same language. The way Ryan talks about Keenan Bailey tells me that's who he trusts to be his eyes in the sky. And, of course, during the Miami game, that's exactly who he went with.
Keenan Bailey's a good coach. Let's be real. I don't know if he's ready for offensive coordinator or whatever, but I know he's a good coach.
Yeah, and a lot of people talking like Keenan Bailey, exactly like he's chopped liver here or something. The dude, do you know how long he's been on the staff?
Since Urban.
2016. He came from Notre Dame as a grad assistant in 2016.
And he's intense, and players love him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chris and I watched him coach his room. We were standing right next to the tight ends.
30 feet away.
He's a firm but fair players coach. Yeah.
Hey guys, we agree with Joe Moorhead. We said it earlier, but I honestly, about Joe Moorhead, if we would have hired him already.
I would have loved that, though. I would celebrate like we just won the Super Bowl if we got Joe Moorhead. I would. Sean, your last thoughts on this topic before we move on?
I agree with everybody. That was the biggest thing to do is keep Matt Patricia. But with Ryan Day, who knows what he's going to do, honestly. He surprised us before. Actually hired people that we really haven't heard of or didn't expect.
Matty P was a surprise.
Yeah, exactly. So was Hafley. I mean, who thought of Hafley going to be the DC? So I'm going to, just kind of wait and see what he does. But the one thing I don't want is to promote from within. I think that would be a bad thing. But unless Ryan Day doesn't find someone he trusts completely to take the play calling, he's got to be calling the plays. And it could be a lot worse, guys.
100%. The further he gets away from when he coached in the NFL, the smaller his Rolodex is getting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is. Mm-hmm. Because he's been at the same place now since 2017. And, back when he was with Philadelphia and San Francisco and all these other different places, he had the chance to interact with a lot more people. that has shrunk on him. And Ryan Day is not going to put someone up there who he does not trust. So those aren't just my words. Those are the words coming from the Woody Hayes Athletic Center themselves via Buck Vader, our insider who's in the chat right now. Shout out Buck Vader. All right, guys, moving on to our next topic this evening. This is the list of players eligible to be drafted in the NFL this year from Ohio State. We have 5 juniors who are going in: Caleb Downs, Caden McDonald, Arvell Reese, Carnell Tate, Max Clare. And there's the list of seniors: Sonny Styles, Caden Curry, Davison Igbinosun, Will Kasmerick, Lorenzo Styles Jr., Tywone Malone Jr., C.J. Donaldson, Ethan Onyanwa, Jaden Fielding, John Furlman, and Eli Brickhandler. All right, that being said, I need to know from you guys how many, first question, how many will be drafted? Second question, how many will be first rounders? Chris, you get the first opportunity. How many from this list will get drafted in the NFL draft? Is that April or March?
April.
Okay.
How
many will get drafted? And how many first rounders?
I've been teetering back and forth between 10 and 11. I'm going to go with 10 are going to get drafted.
That many?
I think we get 10 drafted. I think we get 4 first rounders.
Ooh, okay.
I'll be honest. I like obviously Caleb and Arvell are going to go in the top 10. Okay. I think I wouldn't be surprised if anybody doesn't argue that. I think Carnell Tate still goes in the first round. And I think Sonny sneaks into the first round.
Okay. In the chat right now, Sage says we're going to get 9 drafted. Ed says we get 5 first rounders. Ken says we get 6 first rounders. Boomin' Buckeyes says we get 8 drafted and there'll be 4 first rounders. Tyler says 5 first rounders, 11 total drafted. Ken says 2 top 10 guys. All right.
Yeah.
Corey, you're up. How many, man?
9 drafted, 4 first round. Do you want me to name names or just?
Yeah, let's go. Let's just go ahead and name some names because I only have 8, so I want to know who your 9th is.
Well, I got Caleb Downs, Arvell Reese are gonna go. I don't think Arvell Reese goes in the top 10. I think he falls out. I think Carnell Tate's another first rounder. Sonny Styles is going to sneak into the first round, I think, of his athleticism. And honestly, if you quietly, his tape was really good the last month. I think Caden McDonald, Max Clare, Will Kasmerick, David Igbinosun, and Caden Curry will round it out. And that's who will all be drafted.
Will Kasmerick is the one. Okay.
See, I don't have Kasmerick getting drafted.
I could be a late pick.
But who do you have that's different than Chris?
My 10, I had Caleb. Let's see.
Yeah.
Caleb, Caden, Arvell, all the underclassmen.
Correct, obviously.
I had Max Clare going late, but got him in there. Caden Curry, David Igbinosun. And this may be where we had some differences. I have
Sonny.
late round picks. Sonny I had in the first round.
Yeah.
I had between the 6th and 7th round, I also had Malone Jr. and Donaldson going.
I can see Malone going.
Really? Just because of size?
Size. And he got a lot of playing time. I bet he really improved this year. I think someone could take a 7th round pick on him.
Can I throw an extra one out here before Sean goes on?
Sure.
How about this? How about Eli Brickhandler does end up playing professional ball? I think he ends up a backup quarterback for the Aviators.
Columbus Aviators?
So I was just saying, I thought you were going to say the Cleveland Browns draft them in the 7th round, Chris.
Why not? They've tried everything else.
Like Spurgeon win.
That'll be their 4th quarterback in the 2026 draft.
All right, Sean, give me your numbers there, dude.
I think we have 5 first rounders. I think we have I'm going to say 8 drafted.
Okay. I'm with you. I'm at 8. I also think we get 5 first rounders. Now here's why. I think history is repeats itself all the time. Do you guys want to guess the last 2 years we had 5 first-round draft picks?
Do you think that it's McDonald that sneaks in as the?
Oh, I don't think
The-
McDonald sneaks in at all. I think he goes pretty high.
Yeah.
He's
See,
a
I've
beast.
got him as a second round guy.
They
right
they
now.
were talking on the radio on Friday that they could see Cincinnati taking Katie McDonald even over Caleb Downs because of need.
Maybe.
But
What if
which
you look?
which made me
Tyreek
want to
was-
drive off the road as a Bengals fan and throw up because I'm like, even though I love Katie McDonald and I would cheer the heck out of him taking a Buckeye, how do you pass on Caleb Downs? My gosh, are you dumb?
Have you seen some of those GMs, Eric? Every year
They're
make stupid.
I have no idea how they get their jobs and
No.
keep them. I have no clue.
No, I mean,
So 2016, 10 years ago, we had 5 first round draft picks.
We had one with-
2000,
But when I was gonna say we had one with Tressel too, right?
2006,
Yeah.
20 years ago, same thing. 6, 16, 26. Crazy how it might work out. Caleb Downs, Katie McDonald, Arvell Reese, Carnell Tate, Sonny Styles. Those are your first round draft picks.
that's who I had.
And they're saying Sonny Styles might actually go before Arvell Reese. That
should.
some NFL scouts look at Sonny and they say that is the perfect linebacker you would want. Arvell's start to the season overshadowed Sonny's, but at the end of the day, Sonny's stats were just, they were better.
Sonny
Yeah.
was the better player for the last month and a half. I'm sorry, it's true. You can cry about it all you want. Arvell was almost a non-factor at times.
He's got 2 years starting under his belt. Arvell won. More consistency in that. So, yeah, that's crazy. The other 3 that I have getting drafted are Max Clare, obviously, Caden Curry, Davison Igbinosun. The name that I would love to see sneak in is Lorenzo Styles Jr. And I know that he's not looked at as being an NFL talent, but you guys, when he went off the field, our defense was not the same, man.
He's going to get some team. Here's the thing: he may not get drafted. He's going to have a team take a flyer on him.
Oh, absolutely.
He's going to have an opportunity to make a squad. And I'm going to tell you right now, Eric, I think he does make a squad as a special teams guy, if nothing else.
That's what I was going to say. Big time special teamer.
So
I hope he gets drafted. I would love to
I
see
would
how
love it.
cool that would be for the Styles family. To see both their boys drafted in the same NFL draft. I'm sure that has happened. I'm sure some twins have been drafted before or something like
well,
that.
the Barber
but
twins,
there you go. Yeah.
Right there.
Kiki and
Kiki,
Rondé.
Rondé. Good
Also,
call.
the who are the linebacker brothers? I think one went to
from
Buffalo.
UCF, right? The linebackers from
No,
UCF.
this was one went to Buffalo, one went to Seattle. Maybe
Edmonds. Was it Edmonds?
Edmonds,
Terrell and
Trey or something like that, or
One of them's playing right now, actually.
one
the
played for Buffalo as a linebacker, and I think the other one played for Pittsburgh, didn't they?
Dude, I know
Yes.
everybody's down on the Columbus Aviators nickname, but you guys realize that they're short. Their nickname for short is going to be the Vaders.
hey.
Come on,
First of
that's
all-
freaking sweet, dude.
First of all, don't be down on the Aviators, because let me tell you right now, you are going to be so excited every time you see a former Buckeye suit up for these guys.
Yeah.
You got a former Buckeye coaching these guys. I'm telling you, it's something to get excited about. Don't look down on this. For the love of God, don't look down on this.
We need to
Shane's
get
right.
behind
The
it.
Ponky twins. Forgot about them.
Yep.
The what?
Yeah.
The Pouncies?
The Ponky.
Yeah, is okay. And one of them had one hand. That's right.
Yeah.
the Griffin. Yeah.
Actually played in the NFL for a little bit.
Yeah, that was a cool story, man. That was cool. All right, so we agree Lorenzo Styles Jr. is a possible maybe. Will Kasmerick is a possible maybe. Tywone Malone Jr. possible maybe. I don't see C.J. Donaldson getting a drafted. He'll get invited somewhere, but
I don't see Malone getting drafted either. I see UDF for Malone easily, but
here's a name I'm going to throw at you guys, and you're going to be like, "What do you?"
Jaden Feeling.
He could have went last year, and he would have got drafted.
Jaden Fielding.
Ethan Anyanwa.
Oh,
Somebody
He-
might take a late
He
flyer on
would
him
have
just
gotten
because of the
drafted
measurables.
last year.
yep.
The measurables are there. If he has a good combine, he could sneak into the draft. Somebody may pick him up as a late round guy and end up getting a steal on him. You don't know.
I think he has UDF written all over him just because I think it's measurable. Somebody will take a flyer that way, but I mean, when they think about it, if he goes to Ohio State and he's on the bench, even though they paid him $1 million, that's got to alarm some coaches or GMs.
Here's the thing,
understand
though.
that.
Let's look at the way the NFL chooses their draft. How much of it is on that damn combine that really tells us nothing about how somebody plays football, and it's all about how good they look in their underwear. My God, these scouts get so into that combine.
I think they're more into pro days than they are combines these days.
I don't know. I don't know.
Nobody even barely goes to the combine anymore.
Guys, I can see Ethan being invited though to a camp. I mean, he's got the measurables, and
oh yeah, I could see that. I ain't saying he's gonna the NFL's gonna forget who he is altogether. I just don't see a draft pick, but I could be. I've been wrong before many times. So
let me tell you what: if he's sitting there on the board in the 7th round, Cleveland better take him.
like I said, their first pick should be Carnell Tate, and the rest of the draft should just be offensive linemen.
Well, guys, we have a lot of time between now and then, and I will like to say this before we take a quick commercial break, and then we get into what is undoubtedly going to be the funniest thing we've done in a while. We play an awesome draft game here. No one else does our draft game like we do. There's 238 of you watching right now on YouTube, 189 on X. We want you to stick around, be a part of the OHIO podcast. When we do this year's draft, we're going to have an amazing prize for somebody who wins our draft game. And literally, it makes the draft more fun to watch. It really does.
It really does.
So we'll be talking more about that. And it's a Buckeye draft thing, too. So we only care about the Buckeyes. We don't care about anybody else or any other teams. But our Buckeye draft game is freaking awesome. I just want to throw that out there. When we get closer to the draft, make sure you're tuned in so you can learn all about it and be a part of it. All right, guys. That being said, I'm going to run a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to dive into our top 20 one more time. We have new merch just in time for the most wonderful time of the year. Get your OHIO podcast t-shirts, hoodies, and hats, and more thanks to our partnership with King Kong Bart and his printing company in Bucyrus, Ohio. That's right. You can now rest assured that when you purchase merchandise from the OHIO podcast, it is being printed and shipped right here from the Buckeye State. And even better than that, you can financially support your favorite hosts. For instance, if you want to support Mika, you can do so by purchasing her Illuminati merch. 50% of all profits will be shared with each host upon payments. Get your new OHIO pod merch by clicking on the link below this video, the link provided on our YouTube channel, or by visiting our website at theohiopodcast.com. Just click on the store link and it'll take you straight to our new online store. So what are you waiting on? Help support your favorite Ohio State podcast, your favorite hosts, and share your Buckeye pride all year round. OH! All right, we are brought to you today by A Place at Home Senior Care. If you have a loved one recovering from a recent hospitalization, stroke, maybe a slip and fall, possibly living with dementia, they need support at home, A Place at Home is who you need to call. They provide home care supportive services like bathing, dressing, mobility assistance, and medication reminders, all in the comfort of your home. To contact them, it's simply go to their website, aplaceathome.com/Dublin. Again, that's aplaceathome.com/Dublin, or you can call them 740-472-8181. All right, guys, I'm a glutton for punishment, obviously. We've done this now. This will be the 4th time this season. And when I thought of this idea, I wanted to see how these numbers would change for all these players throughout the course of the season, how our minds would change collectively as fans, as podcast hosts with the guys. We're going to rank Ohio State's roster from 20 down to 1, 1 being the most important player on the team, best player on the team, if you will. And I wanted to see how these players would change from expectations at the beginning of the season to the middle part of the season, during our first bye, to the second bye, now to the end of the season. That being said, we are going to do this, and it is going to be wild. Corey has done this several different ways, to say the least. Corey, I heard at the beginning when I first got on you say, I'm taking this serious tonight.
Tonight I did, yes.
Oh,
You're
wow.
welcome.
Well, thank you so much. All right, so here's how it's going to go. Chris, I'll let you go first. Corey second. Sean third. I'll bring up the caboose. We're going to start at number 20, work our way to number 1, and then I've got my spreadsheet open in the background so that we can take down these numbers and see where we end here at the end of this thing. So that being said, I didn't tell these guys how to look at it. I didn't tell them, anything. Give me your top 20 and we'll look at it. So that being said, Chris, you are up first.
Number 20, I got Tywone Malone Jr. 26 tackles, great run stopper in the middle, solid interior defensive line presence. I've got him at 20.
I went back and forth on this. I want to give an honorable mention to the punter. He was actually pretty good the last 4 or 5 games, but I'm not going to put him on the list. Ian Moore at number 20 for me because he's not a starter, but man, he filled in admirably when we needed him and actually was pretty good against Miami when Austin went down with injury. So, and he's got a promising future. So I'm going Ian Moore.
I'm going with, gotta agree with Chris here, Tywone Malone.
Y'all copying each other again?
Yep.
I knew it.
I went with Isaiah West. I think Isaiah West was a good change of pace for our offense. And so and I'm really interested to see what his offseason looks like. So I went with Isaiah West at number 20. Number 19, Chris.
Number 19 for me was Peyton Pierce. Obviously a guy who didn't start, but a guy who got 44 tackles, an interception, forced fumble, and a fumble recovery in limited action while filling in for the starting linebackers. A guy who has a very promising future. So I've got him in at number 19.
I went Jermaine Matthews, number 19. Big slip for me. He was really good to start the year, but man, he's getting cooked at the end of the year. Quite frankly, showed little to no emotion, which we don't expect from him in that Indiana game. So, or was it Miami? I can't remember, but we saw the clip with Caleb Downs trying to get him going, and it just seemed like he didn't respond. But he's still important. He still had an overall solid season, so I'll go number 19.
I went with Lorenzo Styles Jr. I thought he made some big plays for us, and like Bogsy pointed out, man, the defense kind of went down. The secondary kind of went downhill when he got hurt, when he was out. So the kid, I was hard on him at the beginning of the year, but he really did improve as the season went on. Ran back a kickoff.
Yeah,
I mean, he had a pretty good year for us.
Dealt with injury too.
Yep.
Number 19 for me. Here's where I'm about to get some pushback from a lot of people. I have Brandon Ennis. Just seemed like every time he caught a football, it was highly contested. Highly, highly contested. And then when he would be wide open, it was like Julian never saw him. And I know that's not his fault, but I feel like if you're going to be a more intricate part of the offense, that can't happen, right? So you need to be someone who you look for more often. I have him at 19, and I think he, out of everybody I'm about to mention who's coming back, needs to have the biggest jump in production in 2026. Number 18, Wild Man.
Surprisingly, I'm not that far off from Corey on this one. I got Jermaine Matthews here. A guy who was way up there for us the first couple of times we did this, Eric. And you look at the numbers, 26 tackles, a sack, 2 INTs, 2 pass defenses, forced fumble. Good numbers. Solid year. But struggled anytime we played an opponent with a pulse. So that's why I've got him at 18.
18 for me is Luke Montgomery. Kind of up and down this year, but I think he's definitely had more positives than negatives. I think I'm glad he's coming back because we need the experience, and I think experience obviously matters in college football these days, as we're seeing. But uh, he's just gotta get more consistent. But he's solid.
I went with Isaiah West. I thought I think he had a really good freshman year as our change of pace guy. I look for him to take another step. I mean, believe it or not, there were some people on the coaching staff that actually thought he was the best back out of the three that we brought in. So I'm looking for him to have a bigger season next year.
I went with Lorenzo Styles Jr. at number 18. I'm a low fan, man. He really won me over this year. I was really hard on him at the beginning. I remember that one time he got burned against Ohio U.
Yep.
He got burned, and Corey about had a conniption during the live watch.
He was getting shoved off by that guy.
About had? He was in full on meltdown mode.
Not
Oh
Corey.
my gosh. And I was like, I remember just going, I think Corey is going to get ran over by Lorenzo Styles Sr. if he ever sees him. But
Well, not for him.
he really came on later in the year. And gosh dang it, that injury, dude,
Mhm.
that one hurt, man. I think he did great. All right, number 17.
Yep.
Yeah. And just go back to Lorenzo Styles. I didn't have him in my top 20. I'm not going to, but, I easily can see why you guys did. The injuries were too much. It kept him out of too much action this year. Anyhow, 17, I went with CJ Donaldson. 96 carries, 361. He had 10 of our 25 rushing touchdowns.
He was a vulture.
He, got the ball frequently in the short yardage downs. Did okay. Didn't do great. Didn't do what we expect him to do. Only averaged about 3.6 a carry. Did not live up to the hype that I thought we were going to get out of him, but was still a quality back. So I got him at 17.
Great kid, too. I met him. Really good kid.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yep. I met him and Arvell Reese. I got
They were
Arvell's
signing autographs.
Yeah, an autograph signing. I just talked to CJ, but I got Arvell's autograph.
Cool.
17, I went with Brandon Ennis. I agree with everything you said, Eric. I just the way his leadership puts him on the list for me. He's a good leader and he's a good guy to. You always got those guys that the other players seem to hover around, even if they're not the most productive player in the world. I hope he takes a big step this year. We'll see. Maybe he just is what he is. He's kind of a Julian Fleming. I don't know, but still a good kid, and he's a good leader, and he's always got an upbeat attitude, which is positive and helpful for the team. Plus, he's becoming an elder on the team now. Again,
Yeah.
experience is just the key for these teams this time. Man, tell you one thing, Sean Ramsey's really complaining in the chat. My goodness.
Yeah, you're allowed. You can complain. It's all right, guys.
That's what it's there for.
Yep.
Yep.
I
If you
guess
need to vent, my man. It's all good. All right. What we got, Sean?
17, Jermaine Matthews. I was expecting a bigger year from him. I'm still ticked off about him not getting his head. I mean, the whole year he did not get his head around, and it come back to finally bite us in the butt against Indiana. I think they need to keep him in the slot next year. I think he'll be better in the slot than he will be on the outside.
Okay.
Aaron would have stroked out if he watched Jermaine Matthews play this year, Eric.
Yeah. I'm a lot higher on him than you guys, though. Okay. I'll maybe I'll have to recheck that. Number 17 for me, and again, this might be me getting some pushback here. Kenyatta Jackson Jr. I just thought we were going to see more. I really did. Maybe we will this year. Maybe the light switch will click on and we see. But you line up Caden Curry and Kenyatta Jackson Jr., and it was night and day to me in production. Caden Curry was much better in producing at that D-end position. I'm glad he's coming back. I think he needs it. I think he needs another year. Maybe the light bulb turns on for him and he has a big year. Again, Brandon Ennis, Kenyatta Jackson Jr., two players who I think need to have big off seasons for Ohio State. Number 16, Chris.
You're not going to get pushback from me here because I got Kenyatta Jackson Jr. at
Okay.
number 16.
Good. I'm not alone.
Yeah, so solid year, but wasn't the standout year we thought it was going to be, especially when we saw him at practice. Man, he was just seemed like he was on a different level at practice when we went up there and saw him. Eric, his intensity was really high. I don't know what it was, why we didn't see the numbers we thought we'd see out of him. I mean, 6.5 sacks is okay, but I expected this guy to be a double-digit sack guy. Maybe this year he comes back and he eats this year. I really hope he comes back and eats this year because I think this guy has tremendous potential. I think he's a great athlete and a great player and a great young man. So I'm really hoping for more when he comes back this year.
16, I got Jalen McClain. I think he was solid. I predicted him to have the most interceptions. I was horribly wrong. And so I'm going to knock him down for that, for making me look stupid. And I'm just bitter. So
Fair enough.
I got at number 16. I got Brandon Ennis there. They were saying that he did have an ankle injury, so maybe that's why he didn't put up the stats that he did. I think he's more of a possession receiver out of the slot than an outside threat. But he's got the leadership. He plays hard. He blocks. He does the dirty work, and got respect for the kid because he does play his heart out.
This is where I put Max Clare. I expected more from him, and I don't know that it's all his fault. First-year quarterback. That quarterback has Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate on his team, where at Purdue, Max Clare was literally the best pass-catching threat on that team last year. So maybe his numbers slipped just a little bit because of that. Kind of feels like he came to Ohio State for 1 year. Regardless, no matter what happened this year, he was going to the NFL. Appreciate him, coming in for 1 year. But I was expecting much more from him than what we got this year. And I'll be honest, I think he was an okay blocker. I don't think he was exceptionally great.
I agree.
I think Will Kacmarek was definitely the better blocker.
I don't even know if he was okay, to be honest.
Okay. I'm glad someone else kind of saw what I saw then. Good.
This is the way it's going to go again, Eric?
Okay. Yep. Here we go. Max Clare gets in the
number 15. I've got Max Clare. And I'm telling you, I swear I do. If you want me, I'll share the screen. It is actually on the screen. 15. I got Max Clare. Same thing. I expected this guy to come in and have at least 700-800 yards receiving, put up, double-digit touchdowns. After what we saw at Purdue, I don't know how this guy failed to produce at Ohio State. So, yeah, I was disappointed overall.
Oh, I should go then. 15, Will Kacmarek from me. Never really a receiving threat, good blocker, was happy to have him, really solid role player. Very important to the team. That's why he's in the top 20, but I don't think he was, obviously, I think he'll get drafted like in the 6th or 7th round, but I don't know what else to say about him. Solid role player.
Let's make it a hat trick, guys. I got Max Clare here. I thought he should have come back for 1 more year to improve his blocking to go into the NFL, but it is what it is. I was expecting more numbers, but our offense really doesn't, showcase the tight end that much. And when you do have probably the 2 best receivers, if not I know JJ is the best, but I would argue that Carnell Tate was the second best in college football. That those two, it's hard for him to get the ball. I was happy he came. And he had some good games for us, but I expected a little bit more out of him.
This is where I've got Jermaine Matthews Jr., so I was a little bit higher on him than you guys. But, yeah, so all 4 of us at least say he's in the top 20. So, I guess there's that. But I'm with you, Sean. I think he would be good in the slot.
Yeah, he's much better in the slot.
Yeah. Number, what are we on, 14?
Number 14, this is where I actually have Jalen McClain. 53 tackles, 3 passes broke up. Solid defense on the back end, but nothing super stellar. Hopefully he has an even better year next year.
14 for me, Carson Hinsman. It's really a solid center. I'm glad he's coming back. He needs another year, in my opinion. I He needs to be a little bit more consistent in the snaps. If you notice, sometimes the snaps are off to the left, off to the right, a little low, whatever. But in fact, on the infamous pick six against Miami, the snap was to left and to the low and to the left. But I'm glad he's coming back. He's a top 20 player. He's important for sure. But I just think we need more consistency. And maybe that's Tyler Bowen. I don't know.
I agree with Corey. I got Carson Hinsman here. I actually I think he's a great center, but I think he's an elite guard, and I think they should move him to guard and put Padilla at center. That's what I said at the beginning of the year. That's how I felt. I think they should do it, but I know they'll probably keep him at center, and he'll probably have a season where he wins the Remington. So I like his toughness. I think he's got a lot of potential to be great. So hopefully he takes that next step this year.
This is where I got Jalen McClain. Rinse and repeat from what Corey and Chris said. Number 13, Chris.
Number 13 for me, I actually have Luke Montgomery in here. PFF had him scored as our second best offensive lineman. I thought he was really solid for a good portion of the year. Sadly, I didn't find a guy on the right side I could put in this list. So, but overall, I thought Montgomery had a really good year. Does have room for improvement, but I still think he's worthy of being on the top 15.
Are we on 13?
Yeah.
Yep.
13. This is where I had Max Clare. I will say this. Statistically, he ended up having one of the better seasons besides Cade Stover's one really big year from a tight end position that we've had in 20 years. Because we just never have breakout tight ends at Ohio State. And even with a guy who was proven like Matt Clare, we didn't target him very much. I'm not even honestly. I felt this way when he transferred. I didn't even know why he came to Ohio State. It was like we're not tight end you by any stretch. We don't focus on the tight end, but later on in the year, he started to become more and more of a target, and we started to fixate on him a little bit more. And he, especially in the injuries to Tate and Smith, and I just think that's the story right there with Tate and Smith breakout this. Well, I mean not breakout, but playing so well this year, they only got one football to go around, and Julian Saint's going to trust those guys over Max Clare. He even missed Max Clare in the Miami game, was wide open for a TD. So it's another part of the piece of the puzzle. And plus, we had a first-time play caller. So I think it all hampered Max Clare a little bit, even though I will agree he was underwhelming. But I'm a little bit higher on him than I think the panel is. So.
I really wish he would have came back for one more year because I think they really could have done something with him this year. But at 13, I have Jalen McClain. I think the kid's got a lot of potential to be an All-American. The kid just takes people's heads off. He plays hard. And I'm excited to see the next step he takes this year.
This is where I got Carson Hinsman. So I'm following Corey now the last couple. And Sean, very interesting point that you make about him playing guard. I'm a huge Josh Padilla dude. Mm-hmm. I'm all for that move. Padilla's a little bit squattier of a player, which kind of reminds me more of a center, in all honesty. Hinsman is a beast at guard. He is, and if in all honesty, if Hinsman's going to have a successful NFL career, it will be at guard, not necessarily center.
He's come out and said that he'd rather play guard because he hates, he doesn't have to worry about making all the calls and he can just play.
Yeah, I would put Padilla there. I'm with you. I like that move.
I agree with that too. Yeah.
I'm going to start Padilla. Yeah, let's Vader, where's Vader at? Call Mr. Big. Call Mr. Big. Tell him we've got the offensive line move that Ryan Day needs to make next year. We figured it out tonight.
And tell him we got one more thing for the offensive line. Hire Sam Pittman.
Pittman would be amazing. That'd be an amazing hire.
Well, Eric, once again, you've stole my thunder.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And number 12, I've got Carson Hinsman. I'm not going to regurgitate it all. We've covered it all. Yes, I love the versatility. I love the nastiness. I think he, again, maybe at times, I think he, like you guys, he was better at guard than he was at center. So I think that's a great move. And once we put him in at center and Ian Moore out there at the starting right tackle, we're gonna be okay.
Fix the offensive line.
That's right.
Yep.
We've done it. We don't need Tyler Bowen anymore.
I would fire Bowen tomorrow into the sun.
Ryan Day, please do me a favor. Just go ahead and Don't worry about Tyler. Just send us that $1 million and we be all right.
That or Bill Callahan. Corey, I love that Bill Callahan come. Make a
Or he
send
can
off.
come. Yep, take him too. Yep, 100%. We're number 12, right? Austin Seerveld for me. I had him really high early in the year, and then he just started to kind of decline, really since the Wisconsin game. And like he went from holy crap, this guy, who is this guy? He's a first round pick to okay, maybe he's still a guard playing tackle. And so I love him. I'm glad he's back. We need him, but he's not what we thought he was.
12 is where I got Kenyatta Jackson Jr. I thought he showed improvement. I still think, like you guys do, that he should have been a double-digit sack guy, but he set the edge really well. He'd run down screens. He played hard. I mean, heck, that Indiana game, he was getting in there, but they were holding the crap out of him and tackling him. I mean, he probably should have had about 4 sacks that game if the referees would have had their glasses on. But I think the reason he did come back this year is because he probably had that danger of being an undrafted free agent. So I think next year, he needs to take that next step if he really wants to improve his draft stock.
Yeah, Indiana's holds against him were just egregious.
That was pretty
They
bad.
were awful.
Yeah.
That's a good
2 guys riding him to the ground.
Exactly.
And the other point you brought up about Kenyatta Jackson Jr., which I failed to mention, I think you're right. He does defend the screen pass incredibly well. Yeah, good point. That's a good point. Good job on you. So number 12 for me was actually Luke Montgomery. So yeah, I'm right there with you, Chris. Just keep right on following you, just about. So yeah.
Well, I got to follow Corey. And we're number 11, and I get to follow Corey with this one because this is where I've got Austin Seerveld.
Okay.
It's amazing because according to PFF, he was our top offensive lineman, which doesn't surprise me. What does surprise me is it says that he did not allow 1 sack all year. It seems to me that he allowed a sack, but I could be wrong.
It wasn't many if he did, though.
It wasn't many, and 367 dropbacks, not allowing a sack is pretty daggone impressive. So I've got him in there at number 11.
My number 11 is Arvell Reese.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it.
No, I understand the drop off at the end of the year.
No, it's not even just that. Is the way he was hyped in the beginning of the year. And don't get me wrong, he played great in the beginning of the year, but they were saying he best linebacker ever, going to be a top pick in the draft. That's like, whoa! It's been like 4 games, And for the last, I've said it 100 times on the show. For the last month and a half, he's on a milk carton. Not making plays. Not making plays when we need him, and definitely not making plays in big games. So I was very disappointed with his drop-off. And I know he's an athlete. He'll be drafted high off his potential for sure. I wouldn't be surprised. What was that guy that got drafted by who was that defensive end in the Tressel era that got drafted top 5?
Vernon Golston.
I could see another Vernon Golston situation. Just saying.
Number 11 is where I have Austin Seerveld. I think the kid played great for the most part. I mean, look at him. He wasn't a 5-star that came in. We actually give Coach Fry some credit there. He developed that kid, and he started playing. I mean, to go from starting at guard to starting left tackle the following year, I mean, that shows how great he really is at pass blocking. We need him to improve a little bit on the run blocking, but I think the kid's got a bright future. And next year, I think if he plays right, if he plays like we know he can play, I think he could give himself in the first round, especially playing left tackle.
All right. I'm the first one to bring up this guy's name, which tells me I'm lower on him than you guys. So I'm really interested to hear what you say. Now, I'm going to say he had a much better year this year than he did last year. He was not. He got away with
doing it to me again, Eric.
Oh man, me too.
He got away with being a handsy more often this year than last year. I love his tenacity. I love his attitude. I think in a lot of ways, him coming 3 years ago as a sophomore, it gave this defense kind of that edge that they were missing. And I think he's going to go off and have a decent NFL career as long as he gets coached up. This is where I have Davison Igbinosun.
Yeah, I've got him in the top 10, and I'm not going to regurgitate it, Eric, because I'm just going to second what you said. And hey, by the way, he was tied for the team lead in interceptions. You know who wasn't?
Caleb Downs.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Actually, Caleb Downs was as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like my guy was like, if my horse was last completely, it just came in last. 10 for me is Kenyatta Jackson. I'm higher on him than everybody else because I think we play cage. I was saying beginning of the year that Matt Patricia's defense doesn't get a ton of sacks. They don't put a ton of pressure on the quarterback. I think Kenyatta even said something along the lines in the middle of the season, can you let me rush the quarterback, please? His game is more speed rusher. We had him playing cage, and I think he did his job well. And I think later on the year, he got better and better and started to even show a little bit more production. And I'm glad he's coming back for another year. I think his leadership's going to be immeasurable for next year. So I got him in my top 10.
Number 10 is where I have Iggy. Last year, I came out and I said I thought he was better than Burke was, and he got a lot of penalties. But this year he calmed down on it, which he needed to, and I think him being the physical corner he is will help him out in the NFL.
All right, number 10 is where I actually have Austin Sierreveld, and if you guys go back to where he was at in the last ranking and where he's going to be at here, he may have had the greatest drop off of anybody. Which is sad because
not Jermaine Matthews.
No.
Okay. No.
Yeah. He at one point, guys, Austin Sierreveld was number 4 on our list. That's how high up he got. And he's fallen tremendously, which means he needed to come back another year. Absolutely, 100%. But that's where I have him. So we're at number 9?
Number 9.
Number 9. And this may be where I start to get a little pushback. This is where I've got Orville Reese. The numbers were good. He was second on the team in tackles, second on the team in sacks. Had a couple passes defensed, but it's not okay what happened in the second half of the season. It's just not. And despite the fact that I do think he goes extremely high in the NFL draft because of the measurables, I just feel like he's a guy who, honestly, is maybe going a year too early. I think he would have benefited by coming back for a year. He went from a top 5 guy. I still think he probably goes top 10, but he was a top 5 guy. Even talked about it number 1 at one point in midseason.
I remember that. That was nuts.
So that's where I've got him.
Number 9, Corey.
Oh, God. For some reason, I thought it was Sean's turn. I swear it was in my head. Sean's turn. Caden Curry for me, number 9. Good production this year. Not going to lie, even though Indiana fans complained about it, I love the hit on Mendoza. But, Mendoza got up. Gosh darn it, phooey. Anyways, he was a surprise. I thought he'd be, kind of solid, set the edge a little bit, but his production was better than I thought it would be. He has just a motor second to none, and I bet he makes an NFL team and plays for a long time in the NFL.
Oh, Corey, I'm following you, man. Caden Curry. Love the guy's motor, played hard. I mean, when you look at what does it mean to be a Buckeye, man, just look at that guy. He was a Buckeye through and through. Played his heart out, gave it all he had for his teammates. I mean, had that little nastiness to him that I liked, and he would pop anybody who wasn't scared of anybody. So I think, if he'd had one more year, that'd have been awesome. But the kid played his heart out for us, and he had a great year.
This is where I have Bo Jackson. I think Bo had a really good year. Obviously, he won the starting job. He was RB1. Felt like at times Bo's vision maybe at times was hit or miss. Really good in the pass game. needs to improve greatly at pass pro. Cannot get ran over and get your quarterback sacked, man. Needs to take another step. Finished just, I think it was 7 yards out of the top 5 of all time for freshman running backs. So I need to see a little more from Bo, but this is where I'm at for him. I think it's great that a true freshman is in the top 10. That alone is way to go, dude. Like, that's you had yourself a really good year as a freshman to be in the top 10 at Ohio State. Which brings us to, what are we at? 8, I think?
Number 8.
Yep.
Yep. And this is where I also had Bo Jackson. And again, it wasn't the running performance. He did pretty well running the ball, although I thought at times he struggled to see the field at times. But overall, this was more a knock on his blocking, because there were several times there where he damn near got Julian Sayin killed. I think he's going to improve, but right now I've got him in at number 7.
I thought number 8.
Rather, 8.
Yeah, I was
8,
gonna say.
yeah.
What, did we skip one? Number 8, I got Julian Sayin. Just he went from stoic and poised to happy feet, and I get the offensive line, especially the right side, was really bad. Long developing plays just weren't there. I thought he still played fairly well at times, but he definitely looked more human towards the end of the season, and it just made you realize we thought he's not a finished product. He's still got a ways to go, and he's still young. So I'm not going to sit here and say like some Buckeye fans, let's go go to the portal and get somebody else. No, Julian's my guy, but he still has a ways to go, and I'm very happy with how he played this year. But I'm a bit excited to see the next step. But Julian, I dropped him a little bit towards the end.
A little bit. You had him at number 1 last time, bud.
I did. But I was making it up as I went. So
you got to the end. You're like, crap. Julian Sayin.
Yeah, basically.
Number 8's where I got Bo Jackson. Kid needs to, one thing about Bo, I want to give Vader big time credit, because he was the one that said he was coming on and getting ready to explode into the scene and that he should be starting. And, Vader's 90%, 99% right almost on everything. So he called it before everybody else did.
Not true. I beat Vader to that one.
We haven't seen Vader and Eric in the same room. I'm just saying.
What are you trying to say?
I have. I've
He
been
did?
with Eric and Vader in the same room.
But can we trust you?
Absolutely. I would never tell a fib.
Guys,
I always supported Ryan Day.
one thing about Bo is he didn't get to play a lot. He had some injuries in high school, so he didn't play a lot his senior year.
Correct.
What's that?
I said you're correct in that, yes.
And how much do you think he was actually asked to pass block in high school? So let's give him a year of, getting some extra weight on him and getting coached up, because look at Trey Henderson, how great he developed into a pass blocker towards the end of his career. So, Bo's a very young guy. He runs hard. The one complaint I got about him is he doesn't have that extra gear that most of our running backs have had, but he gets us a lot of yards. He runs hard, and, getting 5 yards, I can't
give him a year.
Yep.
Give him a year. He might get that. He might find that gear.
So hopefully,
might find that.
JK never really did. So
yeah.
Well, he kind of did, though.
If you have to think about it, then he didn't.
Oh, okay. Where are we at? We're on number. Where am I
7.
at? 7.
You're on
8.
8, but
you're on 8.
This is where I have Arvell Reese. Yeah. Little bit higher on him than Chris and Corey, but he did drop for me because he was top 5. Number 7.
I'm about to get eaten alive in the chat. I can almost promise you.
They complain about everything.
JJ Smith.
Well, let me just tell you.
Yeah, I'm going to leave if that's
late season performances do matter, and it matters just as much when you miss about half of them. And as good as Carnell Tate was at the beginning of the season, I'm telling you, I saw a drop off in his play post injury. And despite that great catch he had versus that team up north, I think overall his game was different after he came back from injury. So this is where I've got Carnell Tate.
The one complaint I had about him was that Miami game when he alligator armed that one.
Yeah.
He heard the footsteps coming and he pulled back and, really can't dog him too much because he did have a wonderful year, though.
He did. I mean, especially in limited action, 51 catches, 875, 9 touchdowns. That's a solid year. That's a solid year for somebody playing a full schedule.
Yep.
But the fact is, I just think that, if we're going to penalize Arvell for what happened late, I think it's only fair to do the same thing to Carnell.
Number 7 for me is Caden McDonald. I thought he struggled a little bit against Miami at times, but overall, to me, he was the best nose tackle in the country all year. And honestly, the pleasant surprise for me is he didn't get gassed this year very much. I mean, because last year it seemed to be the issue with him is he'd get gassed and he had to come out. And his credit to the Mick and the strength team for getting him well conditioned to play as much as he did, and he stayed healthy that we know of. I mean, there could be something, but so I actually really do love Caden McDonald. And I will say, when I said 4 people in the first round, I do agree Caden could definitely be in the first round and make it 5. So I didn't mean to knock him. I would love Green Bay to get him, but we'll see.
I agree with you, Corey. This is where I got Caden McDonald. I mean,
Nice.
The big question mark this year with him coming in was his stamina. And I thought, like you said, they did a heck of a job getting him in shape. I mean, he was taking up double teams all the time. I think he was the best defensive lineman in the Big Ten. And I think he really jumped into the first round this year. I think he's a first-round pick. And, heck, I'd even love for the Browns to get him if they could.
You want Mason Graham and Caden McDonald? Dadgum, dude.
Along with Myles Garrett? Yeah.
That Browns defense is already really good.
All right, this is where I got Julian Sain.
What? No, I'm kidding.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Are you high? No, I'm just kidding.
Is he behind where CJ Stroud was at this time in his career?
Yes.
It's hard to compare, to be honest with you. The way they ran their offenses are a little bit different.
Kind of apples and oranges, but
CJ had some ridiculous wide receiver. I mean, so does Julian, obviously, but
did Julian.
Yeah, but
CJ's line might have been a little bit more consistent.
They ran a much more up-tempo offense with CJ.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the big thing right there.
They also had a terrible defense when CJ played this first year.
But I think that also goes to, was there more trust with Ryan Day and CJ than there is currently with Ryan Day and Julian. Now, I'm not saying that's something that won't develop over time. I'm not saying that Ryan Day's not going to come out here and try to run that CJ offense with Julian next year. But I'm just saying maybe he felt more confident in what CJ could do at that point.
Is it possible he also adjusted how he coached Julian because he felt he leaned on CJ too early?
Very possible.
Glad you said that, Corey, because I have been pondering that very thing. Did Ryan Day coach the way he did this offense this year because he felt like he hampered CJ a little bit by putting too much on him too quick? I've been pondering that. So,
I guess we could put. I mean, CJ is number 2 pick in the draft. He had a terrible day today, though. But
all it did was made him a first-round draft pick. Did
they win today, Corey?
No.
No.
New England beat him.
But honestly, they could have won. But CJ had 4 picks in the first half.
Ouch.
Yeah,
all righty, we are on number 16?
6.
6.
Oh, sorry, 6. My bad.
We're
this is where I've got Julian. Solid year, young guy. He's going to get better. I think we may have put a little too much on him. Expect a little too much at the beginning of the year. I think a lot of us had him in the top 3 or 4. But I think that, he did a very good job this year. Obviously, there's room for improvement. I think he's a top 3 guy next year.
Number 6 for me is Iggy. I am very happy with his progress this past year. He became the number 1 corner. Didn't get flagged nearly as much. And honestly, towards the end of the season, teams were testing Sanchez. They were testing Matthews. They weren't testing Iggy too much. So he was the constant back there, even with Lorenzo Styles' injury, which I agree, Eric, was detrimental when Lorenzo got hurt. Because Sanchez would come in and move Matthews kind of out of position, and then not saying Matthews can't play the slot, but that wasn't his natural position going into the year. And Sanchez clearly wasn't ready, even though I think he will be really good. But Iggy was the constant, along with Caleb Downs, clearly. But I'm talking about corners specifically. So really happy with Iggy, and I wish him a long, healthy, solid career in the NFL.
This is where I have Arvell Reese. I think the kid, flashed last season when he got his playing time in there. And when he first came to Ohio State, they stuck him at defensive end so he could learn how to pass rush. I think he's going to have an awesome NFL career. He's got the ability to. I know he'd have been higher on the list if his output didn't kind of, go down at the end of the season. Some of it was they weren't running towards him, but a lot of times he disappeared. I know he had a couple big hits in the Michigan game on screen passes, but if he'd have kept it up the whole year, he'd have been a lot higher. So
he might have been number one if he kept that up the early season flash.
Another thing we don't consider with Arvell is how many times was he shadowing a quarterback at the end of the year? Because we played a few more of the mobile quarterbacks towards the end of the year, and I think he was the guy charged with shadowing.
Yeah, he was.
Sorry, Corey.
No, I said go ahead, Sean.
Kind of wish he would have came back another year because I think he would have really benefited from one more year. But I can't blame him if you're going to go that high and be a first round pick. I don't blame him for going.
This is where I have Carnell Tate, and I agree with you, Chris. Came back from injury and wasn't the same, and I can't. It's hard to blame a player when that happens.
It is.
So I'm not going to, but he overtook Jeremiah Smith on this list last time. That's how productive he was playing. And then the injury happened, and it really hampered him. So, but this is where I got him. All right, top 5. Here we go, Chris. Here we go.
Let me just say, before I start the top 5 here, what this says about how big it was to secure Matt Patricia, as 4 of my top 5 are defensive players.
Mm-hmm.
At number 5, I have Caden Curry with his 66 tackles and 11 sacks. Yes, that's right. I said 11. He accounted for 1/3 nearly of this team's total sacks. To go with a forced fumble, 2 recovered fumbles, 2 pass deflections. I thought he had a great season, guys. Yeah. I've got Caden Curry in at 5.
I got Bo Jackson at 5. Yeah, I agree with all the flaws you guys mentioned. But I'm trying to grade him on a curve a little bit because he's a freshman, and freshman running backs rarely have good pass pro skills. Rarely. I will say this: our offense was Smith and Tate. That was it until Bo Jackson established something else. And honestly, can we say? I mean, obviously Julian had a good game. Tate had a good game and Smith had a good game against Michigan. Bo Jackson sealed that game. He controlled the clock on that game. He controlled the line. He helped control the line of scrimmage on that game. He made even made guys miss in that game. He doesn't have that extra gear. I liken him to a J.K. Dobbins, maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit more power backish than J.K. Dobbins was. But I think he provided a run game spark that when nobody else could, that we really, really, really needed to go deep into the November or late October, November months. So I got him a little higher. I expect big things out of him, and we'll see how Locke is as a coach, because he's going to have to get better pass pro. I agree.
Well, I mean, if you look what he did helping, Trey and Junkins, I mean, the pass protection they did last year, man, they were awesome at it. So
those guys are studs.
Hopefully that carries over to Bo, because he does have the body frame for it to put some weight on and really be a stud. At number 5, this is where I got Sonny Styles. I thought he was the more complete linebacker the whole year. I mean, he was more consistent than what Arvell was. Arvell made some really splashy plays, but I mean, let's give Sonny some credit. I mean, he was originally a safety, then having to switch positions, and I tell you what, it's in his blood to be a linebacker because his dad was awesome. And I think Sonny's going to have a pretty good pro career.
I'm with you, Chris. 4 of my last 5 are defensive players. Another reason why we absolutely must keep Matt Patricia here. It is job number 1 for Ryan Day. Number 5 for me. This is where I have K-Mac, and let me just say this: I was really, really low on him. I thought he was a part-time player.
Mhm.
I didn't think he would be who he was this year. That guy is a stud defensive tackle, and yeah, I believe he should be and needs to be a first-round pick by someone in the NFL. He played himself into millions of dollars this season. Salute to K Mac, number 5. Number 4, Chris.
You just talked about him, man. This is where I got K-Mac. 65 tackles, 3 sacks. The guy was just an absolute disruptor in the middle. You're right. He may have very well played. I have him as a second round guy. He may have played himself into the first round, much like Tyleik Williams did last year. The guy is an absolute beast. Not somebody we were super high on at the beginning of the year because we're concerned about the conditioning. But man, he did everything that had to be done this year. I salute the guy. I got him at number 4.
I got Tate at 4. I do agree he disappeared a little bit towards the end of the season, except for the Michigan game. That being said, his leap from year 2 was gigantic, like ridiculous. I actually anticipated him being kind of a solid receiver, and it's like then you're at times you're wondering, is he as good as Jeremiah? Now I do agree if he'd be a little bit higher on my list, if not for the end of the season, but I don't know how much of that's Julian missing him. I don't know how much of that is the offensive scheming. I don't know how much of that is just injury or whatever. But no matter what, yeah, he did disappear a little bit towards the end of the year. So I'll knock him down just a little bit. But at one point, I think I had Tate like number 2 or 1. But he's a first round draft pick. Any team is going to be lucky to have him that needs a wide receiver, and I'm really happy to see his jump. But I got him at 4 just because I just think his jump was stupid from tier 2 to 3.
I have Julian Sane right here. I loved I know he struggled against Miami and Indiana, but as a, first time starter, man, I thought he had a pretty dang good freshman year playing. I know he's a redshirt freshman, but man, his accuracy, setting records with the accuracy completion rate. I mean, there's not too much more we could ask for of a kid playing his first year. I think he's going to take a bigger jump next year.
I really struggled between 4 and 3. This is where I went with Sonny Styles. I thought Sonny had a really, really solid, consistently good season this year. He was our silver. Was he our silver bullet? No, he was not. He was our linebacker of the year. The fans voted him linebacker of the year, the Chris Spielman Award. Team captain, Iron Buckeye in the offseason. The dude was the Block O recipient, all those things, and he lived up to every. And I'll say, I think he was the best Block O we've ever had.
And can you imagine the pressure on that kid? The name that he carried alone when he walked in to Columbus, Ohio. Same thing with Lorenzo Jr.
He reclassified a year early.
Yeah.
He was a 17-year-old freshman playing safety. Should have been in the linebacker room to start with, let's be honest. But, huge year for him. Top 3.
Sonny Styles. I got him in there at number 3. Led the team in tackles, sack, an interception, a pass defense, a forced fumble, a little bit of everything. I think by far our most consistent linebacker all year. And while Harvell, kind of faded there at the end of the season, I'm with Corey. I think Sonny just got better as the season went on. So I got Sonny at 3.
Ditto. Exact same. Sonny at 3. I'm going to miss him, but I hope he balls out in the NFL.
Absolutely.
This is where I got Carnell Tate. What a great leap he had between last year to this year. At times, I even thought that he was more a better receiver than Marvin Harrison was. I think he has he's got more tools than what Marvin does. He's got more speed, the jumping ability. He's just not as strong as Marvin yet. But I think the kid's going to be a first-round draft pick. That's going to be, 4 or 5 in a row that we've had?
Yep.
So, he's going to carry on that tradition. And for Andrew Berry or whoever's picking for the Browns, you better pick him. That's all I got.
Number 3 for me, this is where I got Caden Curry. I fell in love with this kid this year. The dude was the heart and soul of this team and this defense. And it breaks my heart that the season ended the way it did for him, because that kid literally left it all out on the field every time he played. Became a huge Caden Curry fan this year. Hats off to him. Looking forward to following the rest of his career throughout the NFL. Corey, real fast, I'm missing number. I must have just missed it. 17 for you.
I actually did a list, so we're in luck. Brandon Ennis was 17 for me.
Thank you. Got it. All right. That means it's Smith or Downs, your top 2. Here we go. Chris, who you got?
At number 2, I've got Jeremiah Smith.
Ooh.
I think he had a tremendous year. He lived up to the hype. No sophomore slump for this kid. 1,234 yards, 12 touchdowns. That was 36% of our receiving touchdown production. He did it a lot of times while being covered by multiple defenders. Great player, no doubt about it. I think this isn't a 1 and 2. This is a 1 and 1A. I really do. But I'm going with Jeremiah Smith here.
I hate even putting either one of them at number 2 because, like Chris says, 1 and 1A. But I got number 2 at number 2, Caleb Downs. God, he's one of my top 5 Buckeyes ever. I'm so thankful he came here. He's just one of the smartest defenders I've ever seen. He is going to be not just a great NFL player, but an all-pro. And he's just whoever gets him is going to be so freaking lucky, because you're not just getting a great football player, you're getting a great kid, great leader, very intelligent player who's going to be the leader of your defense for years to come. I hate seeing him. I wish we had another year with him. But, man, Caleb, I don't know if you're listening, obviously none of this, but just go ball out and be great.
This is where I got Caleb Downs, number 2. And like you say, Corey, it's hard to even call him, number 2. But thank you for coming to Ohio State. You could have went other places, but, man, I'm proud that you're a Buckeye. Thank you for all that you've done. Man, it was a treat to watch you, man. It was an honor to watch you. Thanks for helping bring home another natty to us.
This is where I got Caleb Downs. And I'm with you guys. It was tough to pick between him and Smith, but Jeremiah's just, I'll get to him in a second. This is where I got Caleb Downs. One of the smartest football players defensively I've ever seen watch play. Never out of position, ever. Never. The Cincinnati Bengals, if he's sitting there and they don't pick him, I guess I'll be a Browns fan.
Chris is like, why?
Why?
Yeah, why? And obviously I've got Caleb at number 1, and I think he should be number 1. I'll tell you why. As good as Jeremiah is, and he's great, don't get me wrong, he is. I've said it since Eric. You can go back and play the videos for people. I said before he took the field, he was the best wide receiver in the country as a freshman. And I still believe that to this day. He's the best wide receiver, and now I believe he's the best offensive player in the country. But there was just something different about Caleb Downs. You look at this defense and what we saw last year. And then to lose, 7, 8 starters off that defense, that national championship defense. And Caleb Downs stepped in as the leader of this defense this year. He was the field general out there. It was like, and we've heard coaches say, it was like having a coach on the field when you had him out there. And he was 3rd in the team in tackles with 68. He had a sack. He's tied for the lead in interceptions. 2 forced fumbles, also tied for the lead on the team. The guy accounted for 18% of every fumble that the Ohio State defense had. He accounted for 25% of the interceptions that the Ohio State defense had. And he did it for the best defense in the nation. He did not allow that defense to slip, even though we lost all those guys to the NFL. And while I respect and admire Jeremiah Smith for everything he did, I just think that what Caleb did this year as a leader just gave him that little bitty edge.
Well, you can't go wrong with either of them. So I'm not even. It isn't like Chris is wrong in anything he's saying at all. I went Jeremiah number 1. You know what I loved about Jeremiah? It just didn't matter what game it was or who was on the other side, or it just didn't matter. He couldn't be stopped because he's a cyborg. He's the best receiver in Ohio State history, and that's saying something with our
Oh, yeah.
history. He like Chris. I'll give you all the credit in the world, man. You said it. You were there when you said he'd be the best. He's already wide receiver 1 when he stepped on campus for the first day. And I wanted to say, I don't know. I don't ever trust freshmen, but heck, if you can't trust Jeremiah Smith, you can't trust anybody. I love the fact that this kid's passion, this kid's fire, it doesn't matter who it is, he just won't be stopped. And he can run all the routes. He can do anything on the football field you need him to do. And I love the fact what he just said. He's like, look, they took it from me. Now I'm coming for everybody next year. And I'm like, now I can't wait. And,
Yeah.
so I hated. Okay, you know what? In if we have to do 1 and 2, sure, but Downs and Smith are just the opposite ends of the pillar, for Ohio
Yeah.
State.
Can we just agree that, I mean, JJ and Down should both be 1, and
Sure.
Jaden Feeling should be number 2? I mean, come on.
Exactly.
But man, what can you say?
Going
I mean, honestly, in my lifetime, I'm older than a couple of you guys, but I mean, I'm not old as Chris. I mean, he shook hands with Moses, but I mean, I never thought anybody who was
We had
as-
lunch a
who was
couple
better
times.
than- he was at the Last Supper. He was the busboy there, but I mean, but I regress. I mean, seeing Chris Carter, man, I thought there'd never be it'd be tough for anybody to be better than him as a freshman at Ohio State. And Jeremiah, I mean, even Chris said he's way better than I was. So, I mean, it's just going to be fun to watch and see what he does next year because, man, just keeps improving. He works hard. All he thinks about is football. He doesn't care about anything else. So it's going to be – hopefully we get one more natty run with him next year.
So if Jeremiah Smith comes back and is healthy and has a year that's even close to what he had this year in his freshman year, he will be the only wide receiver in the history of Ohio State to own the 3 top career receiving records at Ohio State: career receptions, career yards, career receiving touchdowns.
Yeah, he's gonna do it.
Right now, currently, all 3 of those records are held by different receivers. He will hold all 3, which has never happened before at Ohio State. It's not even close who the all-time best receiver is at Ohio State.
And that's scary to say. That really is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So crossing our fingers that he stays healthy, that this great attitude he has remains, and he comes back next year and balls out, because that would be awesome to say we saw the greatest wide receiver of all time at Ohio State in our lifetime. That's what we're looking at. So that's why he's number 1 on this list.
Hey, Eric,
So,
explain something to me, would you please? Guys,
Sure.
let's try to, besides pure, either ignorance or, that they hate Ohio State, but how does Jeremiah Smith be the Big Ten receiver of the year, but yet he loses the Blishnikov to Mikhail Lemon? Doesn't that just blow your mind?
Blows my mind.
Speaking of blowing your mind, Eric, I don't know if you've looked at the ticker here recently, but we're over 1,000 people currently watching.
Thank you.
So we have over 1,000 people currently watching, many of them on the X. It looks like we have well over 800 people currently watching on X. Still got a very good crowd of about 150 on YouTube as well. So make sure you're smashing that like button, and thank you all for watching.
And if
Yeah,
any of you
absolutely.
aren't subscribed, please subscribe. We appreciate y'all. We got a lot of great stuff on here, and it's only getting better.
Here is how the final tallies come for the list, guys. This is it. At number 20, coming in at number 20 was Lorenzo Styles Jr., first time on the list. Congratulations. At number 19 was Will Kasmerick.
All right, well.
At number 18 At number, there was no number 18 because we had a tie at 17.
Ooh.
Brandon Ennis and Jermaine Matthews Jr. At 16th, we had Max Clare. At 15 was Luke Montgomery. At 14th was Jalen McClain. 13th was Kenyatta Jackson Jr. Number 12, Carson Hensman. Number 11, Austin Sierreveld. Top 10, at number 10, Davison Igbinosun. Number 9 was Arvell Reese.
All right.
Number 8, Bo Jackson. Number 7, Caden Curry. Number 6, Julian Sane. Your top 5. At number 5, Caden McDonald. Number 4, Carnell Tate. Number 3, Sonny Styles. Caleb Downs 2, Jeremiah Smith, number 1. Thank you so much for that list. Tomorrow night, live on Patreon, we will be watching the national championship game. Who wins? Real quick. Chris, who you got?
I think we, as fans, only win if a tornado strikes the stadium.
In Miami? I don't know if that's possible.
We'll take a hurricane.
So
Honestly,
you're going with Miami. Got it.
I don't care who wins, so let's just go with Miami because Cignetti's an idiot.
Corey.
I think Indiana wins, and I think they win handily.
I'm
Sean.
going Indiana.
If Indiana wins, it's the third win in a row for the Big Ten. And at that point, we can just laugh at the SEC, right?
Hey, guys, that's the third year in a row that they haven't been in the...
That's it. We can laugh at the SEC now. In fact, has anybody found out, has Feinbaum gotten the hell out of this
Left the
country yet or
country.
not?
I mean, he has not. They have not made it to the finals.
He has
in 4
not
years.
because he was on his show Friday and I introduced my wife to it. And I go, you just have to listen to the Paul Feinbaum show when the callers call in. And she's like, I
Oh, my
can't.
gosh.
She lasted literally about 2 minutes. And she goes, I can. She goes, honey, your callers are so much more intelligent than these people. I go,
Well, they're
I
all
know.
Bama fans that call in. What does she expect?
It's like the cast of
Roll
Deliverance.
Tide,
song.
roll, Bama, roll. Call Paul Feinbaum.
Squeal like a piggy, Paul. I mean, it's like the cast of Deliverance calling every day, man.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I think Indiana wins. I think the Kurt Cignetti thing is real. I'm really interested to see how he reacts if he does win the national
I just
championship
hate him and
in
want to
40.
punch him in the throat. That's all.
There's no way in heck that Mike Vrabel's coming to Ohio State. So keep
No
dreaming.
way
buddy.
he's leaving. He has said it 100 times over. He's never coaching college football. All right, so there's that. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, Patreon national championship game. Hang out with us, and then Tuesday night at 8:00, the new show starts. 8:00 after show over on Patreon. It's a blast. You're gonna love it. So many of you who are watching now who are new, come on back Tuesday night. It'll be Sunday through Thursday, starting this Tuesday, Sunday through Thursday at 8:00 here on the OHIO podcast. Yes, Chris. Okay, thought you were leaning in to give me one last statement.
No, I'm just rocking because I'm old and my back hurts when I sit in one spot too long.
We've been on too long. Have a good night, everybody.
night.
Remember, be kind to one another. Oh, I owe someone's OH in Carmen, Ohio with all your heart. Till next time, you all know what to do. OH!
Ayo!
Go Bucks.
Gum still sucks.
So does Cincinnati.